Okay, I'm here with Jason Friedman from Rockets.com. Hi, Jason. How you doing?
I'm doing great, John. How are you?
Great, great. So let's get into it. I wanted to talk to you about Yao a little bit.
Sure.
So, although Yao isn't here for the season, we've all seen how he comes into Toyota Center regularly and working out like a madman. In your opinion, what impact do you think that this has on other players that are seeing him working out? And do you think it really makes a difference in the way that they go about their game by them seeing Yao working out so hard, so far from being able to play?
I think everybody here is familiar with Yao and his work ethic, his dedication, and absolutely, I mean that's an inspiration. I mean everybody, not just with the Rockets, but I think around the league, recognizes just how hard he works, how much he cares about maximizing his abilities, and how much he wants this team to win. So I don't think it's anything new to them, quite frankly, that these guys know Yao. They know how he works out. And absolutely, when your superstar player is putting in that kind of effort and he cares so much, that sets the standard for everybody else. And so it's everyone's responsibility to meet that standard. And, just because he's not on the floor doesn't mean he doesn't have their respect anymore and that they're not thinking about him, that his spirit isn't out there with the Rockets. So there's no question it still has a big impact on his team.
Right, and as we've seen over the first couple of games, the Rockets are really running like we all expected them to. When Yao comes back, what changes do you see either happening in Yao's game to fit that running offense or vice versa? What the team will do to take advantage of Yao's skills, definitely in the low post.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to prevent the Rockets from running like all of a sudden they've got to completely switch back to being a primarily half-court team. I think with the Rockets, on the defensive end, he's such a huge impact. People, I think, have the mistaken impression that he's not a very good defender or that he's just an average defender. He struggles some on the pick and roll, but so do a lot of the big men in the NBA because you're going out there, with the Chris Pauls and Darren Williams and Brandon Roys of the world, guys who are so quick. And, if you're 7 feet and 330 pounds, you're not going to be able to stay with these guys, much less you're Yao Ming, you're 7'6". And so what really comes down to is he has such a great impact at the rim. He blocks and alters so many shots, and that really changes the way teams play offensively. That's one thing that the Rockets are going to have a big adjustment with this year. They don't have that rim protector. And on the offensive end, again, let's go back to defense. Yao's a very good rebounder. They don't need him to lead the fast break. You don't have your center leading the break. What they need Yao to do is to get the rebounds and outlet quickly to the guys who are going to fly up and down the court. Let's say you've got a lineup with Yao and with Aaron Brooks, Trevor Ariza, Kyle Lowry out there. You don't have to have all 5 guys flying down the court. What's most important is corralling that rebound and then getting it out to your point guards and your wings so they can fly. So I still think the Rockets are definitely going to emphasize attacking the defense before it's set, but that starts with getting the ball and getting stops, and Yao can play a huge part in that. Now, you go down the floor and you don't have something immediately and you've got to pull back. That's the beauty of having a Yao Ming, because whereas right now the Rockets are somewhat challenged when defenses get set because they don't have that go-to guy, you throw Yao in there and you can post him up. And we all know how efficient he is in the low post. So I don't think it means an end to the, pushing the pace at all. And the Rockets aren't trying to be the 7 seconds or less Phoenix Suns here. Having Yao gives you one of the premier low post players in the NBA, and you're always going to welcome that no matter what style you play.
Great. So, Jason, you've been here about a year now working for Rockets.com. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the stories that you've either encountered directly with Yao or have heard from some of your colleagues about what it's like to work around Yao Ming?
It's amazing. There probably isn't, a more gracious superstar in the NBA, more accessible. He always thanks you after you've done interviews, even though, he has to do not just interviews with the English-speaking media, but the Chinese-speaking media as well. So he has twice as many responsibilities, at least. And yet he's still very gracious about it, very thoughtful. And just being around him outside of that arena, I mean, I think he's a guy who you have to earn your trust with him a little bit, rightfully so. I think especially because he's always bombarded with so many requests and whatnot. But when he starts to feel comfortable, that's when you really see, you hear people talk all the time about Yao's sense of humor, and he's so big, literally and metaphorically, but he's also a kid, and he's got passions just like anybody else his age. So, it's been a real joy and pleasure getting to spend some time around him, and even just a couple weeks ago, going and hanging out while he was working out here at Toyota Center. And, you would think, being in the position he is, how important he is to the Rockets, to the NBA, to his own country. You could see how that could go to someone's head. And with Yao, he's just Yao, and he never puts himself above anybody. And to me, like, that's pretty cool, because I think he put most of us in that situation where everybody that we come across wants a piece of us, and that could sort of distort your perception of reality. With Yao, it's not the case.